Action-packed show for you this morning and lots of guests. And Monday's probably one of my favorite days of the week because I get to see all you beautiful people here in on Zoom. So thanks for showing up live. We've got a great meeting for you. Our special guests, Dawn and Scott, are here from Island Inspections, and I'm going to have Scott read our mission statement.
I didn't know already.
Oh, sorry.
To build careers worth having, business worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving.
Thank you. And thank you for breakfast. We'll come back and give you an opportunity to share. They've been certified for something I spoke with them about and wanted them to come here and share with all of you. Super exciting addition to their inspection business. Okay, Y4C2Ts. How have you guys seen this show up personally or professionally this week?
Bringing in all the food.
Yes, yes. Thank you, everyone. Parts of service to help bring in all that food. Anyone else? Zoom land? 37.
Yeah, pick on somebody.
Pick on someone in Zoom land. You pick.
They're all safe.
Who?
Who do we see first?
You guys-
Marcus.
Oh, there we go. Laura.
I was on the spot, and I want to say that I want to give JC a huge thank you and shout out for helping me the situation with the new listing. I feel like a lot of us are in competition a lot sometimes with new properties, but there's this mutual trust and respect among agents in this office, which is kind of ongoing. Business is brutal sometimes, so I'm super grateful for your help. Nobody needs to go out of their way to help another agent do well with their business, but I feel like everybody does that here.
Now you gotta come to the front and see all that again.
Yeah. Yay, Laura. We're talking here.
Yeah, come on, Laura, you can do it.
Talking to the front.
No?
Come on,
Okay.
Gigi.
Yes, yay. Everybody give Laura a hand. We want Zoom land to hear all that. Thank you.
Okay, putting me on the spot. For me, it was trust. I wanted to give JC a shout out for helping me. I was in a situation with the new listing where I just needed a little bit of guidance. And I'm super grateful for the trust and relationships of the agents in our office. A lot of times we're in situations where we're putting in offers on the same properties. I've been in that situation with Celeste so many times. At the end of the day, we're high-fiving each other, whatever way it went, because there's trust and we want each other to succeed in our business. So it's in this industry, in this business, it's pretty cutthroat, and it's an honor to be in business with people that respect each other and trust each other. And there's Jason.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. And thank you, JC. I see him pouring into all of our agents. They commend your high level of expertise is much appreciated and that you share it. Yeah. Yeah, JC. Anyone else? We're on the Y4C2Ts, acknowledging personally or professionally where you saw it show up. All right, moving on. We want to thank Island Inspections, our sponsor. I actually, Dawn was delivering cookies and I got to hear about what they've added to their business. And I thought, oh, it'd be so awesome if you could come share that with our agents. So they are here. Are you guys ready? Okay, awesome. I'll hand it over to you. Wow, look at this food. Amazing.
So what's that smoke remind you of? Fire?
Oh, yeah,
It's too soon.
yeah.
Oh, what?
Too soon.
Yeah,
Okay, what do we have up on there?
right here, and then you'll be in Zoom like, there you go. Slide deck.
Oh, okay.
She sent it over.
Is this the clicker here?
He's gonna, so just whenever you're ready, just go to the next slide. Our VA is gonna go ahead.
And RBA is where?
I'll just let him know next slide.
Okay. Okay. All right. So who's been in real estate more than 10 years? 15 years. 20? 25, 30.
Almost 30.
Almost 30. So in almost 30 years, you've probably seen the contracts change, disclosures change. When did lead paint come in on disclosures? You know?
75. 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, probably about 15 years ago. And then what was the hot item after that? I mean, were you guys all taught that 4-letter words were bad? So what became the bad M word?
Oh.
Mold, right. So what seems to be taking the place? Let's change slides. So this is a slide from a particular event here. So what's the new topic now? Fire, another 4-letter word. So we're really beginning to not like 4-letter words. So is real estate over the years gotten easier or harder?
It's different.
Different, okay. Yeah, yeah. Good, positive. Not saying it's harder, just got to be better at it.
Yeah.
Different. That's good. Good attitude. So in the slide presentation, there's a lot of technical information, science behind fire-related things. So we've got what happens after a fire, the environmental professionals' role, see the different components, particulates, soot, ash, char, chemicals, VOCs, SVOCs, a lot of other things. The big concerns, health. It's really some of the effects from a fire, the health can affect us immediately. How long will the effects of a fire, how long could it take to affect someone's health?
They don't.
Years. Yeah, and we really don't know. And there's a lot of science behind it, you know what, that still people aren't fully, absorbed in and really know all the answers to. Let's go to the next slide. Actually, there's only a couple slides in here I really want to show. So you can see that residential, 71%. That's almost $11 trillion. Next one. Next one. See, there's the timeline, less years, months, all the effects. Again, we only got 5 minutes, so this isn't like a full hour class here. So we're just going to kind of breeze a few of these. So it gives you a little bit of information, how the different combustion products, the effects. Next one. Next one. So there's some of the different names that the name chemicals are, if anybody can pronounce them all, they win a prize. Next one. So that's particulate size. So like molds, the average mold is like 20 microns. Anybody know what HEPA filters rate micron wise? It's usually around 1. So that's why the HEPA filters will filter so much better. Some molds actually can be down to like 2 or 4, but with smoke, it can be even smaller. Next one. And again. Next one. Off gassing. Next one.
The speed reading bird.
Yeah. Particulate health concerns. So you can see how much of it is the lungs and the bloodstream. And that's just what talking about soot and ash. Now that's the one we're going to stop at. So a lot of these chemicals, we really don't know how they're affecting us, but we're having to live it. Unfortunately, and how many fires do we have? I mean, there was like 3 of them going on yesterday. The helicopter with the buckets going. So what we've done is we've merged up with a laboratory that actually is on the cutting edge of all this information. They've been involved with like the Paradise Fires. One of the guys on the team has actually, the aerosols that we use to take mold samples. They also use them for fire samples. One of the guys on the team actually is the one that designed those. So very knowledgeable, very specialized, and very helpful in actually even guiding us. We give them the conditions that we're dealing with, and they give us what's the best samples to take. The sample process lab fees, very expensive. Okay, so it's nothing to see a fire sampling of char, ash, soot, of those literally being $5,000. Okay, so the equipment they use to process all this stuff, very, very expensive. So the effects of Lahaina are obviously we're going to see over the next several years. A lot of insurance companies are doing some of this processing. Right now, it seems like most of the guys that are running these samples are coming from Honolulu. They're having to fly here. So we are doing those now. We've connected up with some insurance companies. We'll see how that all pans out. But we want to make sure that as real estate agents, you guys have as much knowledge as you can to help your clients. Obviously, you guys are a wealth of information. And we want you to feel free to contact us with any questions you have, literally, any questions you have.
Oh, I was gonna ask kind of on that, too. You have a special license option for people now that don't know me about to do inspections.
Oh, certified.
Certified.
Oh, certification.
Yeah, could you-
Yeah, we got certified by this lab to run the testing, because like any testing, there's protocol that has to be followed. So just like there's protocol for molds where a house has to be closed up for 24 hours previous to testing, there's certain protocol for taking samples where a fire has affected a property.
What's the testing called?
What's the testing called? It's basically the different tests. There's
There's only like one company that you get certified with, right? You guys went to the national.
well, yeah,
Working with two. that work in-
we kind of tried to get to the top.
Yeah,
So there's the VOCs, the airborne fire residue, which is the char, soot, ash. So you have to know where to look for those. Then there's what they call dioxins, furans, and other ones, hydrocarbons here that I don't even want to try to pronounce the first part of it. And different metals. So for instance, the dioxins and furans, which is like certain materials. So maybe bulk testing or samples taken. That test for that sample is $2,000.
There are some that they, just talked to us about last week.
Because there's a.
yeah.
camera.
47
Sorry.
people on Zoom.
Oh, hi.
Oh, wow.
There,
Oh, no, now I'm getting scared. There's
Yeah.
that many people?
And I was working with some of them last week, and there are some that they now have that actually give markers for troubles as a post-fire issue. So then they can discern which tests would be needed, so might run maybe 400 to 500 a sample. So that's maybe a first step in some cases. We were working on one where they had a fire upstairs from their apartment, so we we're trying to discern which were the best. And they said, here's a few that you can do that don't cost as much that can get you started. So just for what it's worth.
Yeah, the char, soot and ash ones are like $5.50. So a little more reasonable.
Jason has a question back.
What's the turnaround time on the results?
Like, what's the turnaround time on the results?
It can range,
Can it come right up here? Yes.
oh, sorry, it's a much longer than mold is, some of them are a week processing at the lab. Sometimes 2. So it does take a little more time. But
And
we do
and-
overnight everything if we can.
And the testing, some of the testing, the samples being taken, the monitor will literally run for up to 8 hours to run a test. So we literally have to leave a machine there running these samples, come back and get it 8 hours later. So you can see why some of it is more expensive. Yeah, Mark.
Do you know of circumstances where this testing is required?
The question is, do
No.
you know the circumstances where testing is required?
No,
Not
I
yet.
mean, to me, because requirement is a pretty direct word. I mean, because what we're dealing with is the sellers of, or not necessarily seller, property owners are the ones that are gonna want to require it because we're dealing with help buyers or whatever. Even if a buyer is buying a house that has been in a fire zone and had treatments done, is there now a chain of remediation that was done that can show them that the house is clean and cleared? So that's probably in the years to come, months to come, where you guys may see the biggest, effect on properties. So instead of, a regular home inspection, it may become bigger. But at least we want you to know that we're available to do it. Yes.
Is there like, so say you run a whole series of tests on a house and then they get it cleaned up. Then if they wanted to retest. is Same rights, would you say, or?
Ellie's asking about retesting.
Yeah, and.
Yeah,
No.
cost of retesting after it's been cleaned up. There's probably a slight difference, but I wouldn't plan on much
Okay.
because the lab fees are constant. Yes,
Well, that begs a great question, Ally. How do you clean it up?
well, that's basically where you're hiring professionals. So you ever notice that a lot of the trucks that do restorations, it says fire, mold, water? Okay, basically the remediators that are in that field.
And they'll remove that kind of particulate.
Yeah, there's different machines, there's different processes that they have. So the people that do that are really already here, but their focus has typically been on molds. So the fire work that they do is normally if a house has maybe had a kitchen fire or some internal fire in the house. That's where they're seeing their work now.
You also have a question too.
Okay, okay. Am I supposed to be able to see that or no?
No, he got his answer by probably what you just. said.
Okay. Zoom is an amazing tool that we have now. Yeah.
Sorry, and then you mentioned testing would be about 5K, and you also mentioned there are a variety of tests from evidence of soot, char, and airborne. Would that include all types of tests, or is it based off of the evidence that you've seen, you choose what type of testing?
There's quite a
Can you repeat
list
the
of
question
tests.
for Zoom? Do you mind repeating the question for Zoom?
Okay, so
That was a long. Yeah.
yeah, that was like,
In summary.
what's the short version of that question?
So what's included in that 5K amount of testing?
It's basically gonna depend on the type of test done. I would say the average is probably $3,500 to $5,000. Now, what can happen sometimes is sometimes people will do it in steps. Maybe their biggest concern is, do we have any ash or soot? So $500-600, we can take that step. So in the whole process, there can be a chain. So you've got the soot and ash. Is that the key components? If we have someone with extreme allergies, okay, well, and you get things like plastics burning. I mean, that's a whole nother test, So, and those things can stay in the air for literally years. So that's why it becomes so important that we know this stuff.
Do you have educational material that consumers can look at to kind of decide what they might want to do?
The depth of the material that we've researched is so deep. I mean, if they want to become that knowledgeable, we can send them some websites. But it's very technical.
What's
I
really,
think what he's asking is, do you have, as they can choose which types of inspections, is there some paragraph or two to be educated on what they're?
we have,
especially what you've
we
seen
have
online?
some links and some information.
So on our
It
website,
said, here's the different types of testing and what they do, just simple for the consumer.
So on the website, it lists our website, it lists some of the different tests. And I believe we have some links that will take them to a site like, whether it's the EPA or some other specified.
But it would be good if we put something together.
Yeah.
You know, something that would be simple for
That
them.
would be something
Yeah.
that we could provide a value to our people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
And
Yeah,
have
the
their
most-
name on it.
Yeah, the most common,
Right.
ones, the best ones.
What's really nice with the lab too is that some of this testing, when we get the results, they will sit with the client and us for 15 minutes and explain what's going on, which I think is a great service because they can help them understand it better.
Simple. I just appreciated you guys being at the forefront of what's happening and getting that certification and sharing with all of our agents here. We just appreciate you so much and thank you for breakfast.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
So any other final comments, anyone? No? Okay, let's give them a round of applause. Lovely. Feel free to come up and get food as you wish. We don't have to wait till the end. All right, moving on. Here we go. Let's see, profit share. Oh, super exciting. We shared over $36,000 with our agents this for last month's profit share. And we're at about 95 for the year. So great reason to introduce people to the company. You get that residual paycheck on the 21st, goes directly into your account and you might not even know it's there. So on the 21st, just go check that bank. And you might be surprised, have a little fun money. Happy birthday to everyone who has a birthday in May. We celebrate with you. And happy work anniversary. Those of you that have been in the industry every year that you survive is awesome. Survive and thrive.
Right.
In alphabetical order, although we are considering moving it to by production, we have our top April producers. So congratulations, everyone. I would like to take a poll of the room. There was some comments made that, man, if my name ends in a V or starts with an A, then I'm always at the top. And I had some requests. Why don't we just do this based on order of production instead of top 20? I'm interested how you guys feel about that. Thumbs up if you think we should go to by production. Thumbs down if you want to keep it the way it is and just have alphabetical order. Anybody?
Who doesn't care?
Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. Anybody in the Zoom land? All right. Cool. I've had a little feedback, so I just was curious. So thankful for our board of directors. We have 10 committed agents that they have to be in the top 20% to qualify, and 3 redshirting this year with us, JC and April and Marianne. So super thankful for them. We actually have a meeting at 11 o'clock right after this, hopefully, or whenever we're done with the meeting. Keller Williams is passed a rule that was supposed to go in place July 1st, that if you left the company, your profit share would go from 100% to 5%. And so that's all in place right now. And what's happened since is there's 23 lawsuits totaling about $100 million to start with. And so they are seriously considering and probably going to rescind that decision because we don't want to deal with the lawsuits and it could potentially impact owners and investors. So we're meeting at 11 o'clock to talk about that. We'll give you an update. Today, Broker's Corner. I super excited about ninja selling. Who's going? Yes. I wore my golf shirt today for our ninja Don, who's a self-proclaimed golf nerd. Don or Lee, are you on and would like to speak to this class today?
I'm on.
Yes.
It's going to be great. I'm leaving here in about an hour. Get there early. If you have ever been to ninja selling, it's a great refresher. If you have not, one of the things that we really promote is mindset. But then the other thing, especially if you're a new agent, you wake up every day going, what am I supposed to do today? How do I build business? Ninja selling literally puts out exactly what to do every day. So when you wake up, you know what to do. And you know, the whole purpose of ninja selling is to create an income so that you can have a life. So we're going to talk about how to do that. And today we're going to talk about mindset. And with Lee on it also, it's going to be incredible because he is definitely a major ninja and who I try to model my ninja selling after.
Thank you, Don.
Awesome. Thank you for your leadership, and we are stoked about that class. And I talked to the sponsor yesterday. He is planning to bring margaritas and food. And so if you need a reason to show up, then come have a drink with us. Role play Wednesday.
I don't know if Lee has anything.
Oh, Lee, did you want to speak? Sorry, go.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Don said everything.
We are stoked to have you in office today. Teresa, Role Play Wednesday.
Okay. Who here, if I asked you right now what your value is of an agent, can tell me? One hand. You all, okay, two hands. The rest of you belong in Role Play Wednesday. This is where we practice with each other. We test these conversations that make us better communicators. This isn't just about memorizing scripts and words you think are not natural to you. These are about you internalizing scripts so that you can communicate in a meaningful way without practicing on your client saying, I don't know why I deserve a 6% commission to split with the other side. I don't know why I deserve a 3% commission because it's on my buyer's rep agreement. If you can't articulate this and you don't have the confidence to believe in yourself in order to communicate it meaningful, I don't know how you're going to last. So this is an opportunity that we take this time out of our schedules to be able to provide a window for you to be able to practice your craft. Any good athlete, anyone who's good at anything practices their craft. This is your opportunity. You've got 2 times a day. You do have to register. We do provide scripts. We work together in teams. This isn't you just being thrown to the wolves. It's a very easy environment. Please sign up.
We can do that. All right, we are so excited. It's Red Day this week, and we are going to head over to Laura Palakiko and Charlie's Taro Farm. So wanted to give you guys the details. We're leaving at 9, so get there before 9 at different offices and carpooling. I will be driving from Kihei and meeting whoever wants to go from there. We have Keone and someone else. So is it Anne and Teresa and Bonnie from Kahului and Kathy Uu. And then there will be also one leaving from Fairways. They'll probably get there a little bit earlier, but yeah, it's gonna be fun. We hope to have the shirts here and ready, and I hope to see you guys there. If you haven't signed up, you can still register now. Prepare to get dirty, and yeah, it's gonna be a great time. Any other details, Allie, that
No, I sent out an email to all the registrants with, with the directions to Lauren's property because it is off the grid. So if you scan that QR code, it does take, she gave me the coordinates to get to her place. But then I also did a visual for people who need to see it and then a description directly from Lauren. So hopefully we don't get lost. But just, you must be comfortable with driving off-road. Your vehicle does not need to be 4-wheel drive, but it is a dirt road to get to her property. And yeah.
And if you can't find it, get out of the business.
That was Keone. But yes, I will send out some more updates too as the day gets closer. Red Day shirts are en route. So if you did express interest in purchasing one, I will have that ready for you by Thursday, if not before, and I will discuss payment information after. Thank you.
awesome. Thank you, Allie. Great job pulling that all together. Here's who we have so far participating. Jumpstart, Teresa.
Yeah.
Now we're Jumpstart.
Okay, Jumpstart this session is going to be in Kahului. It's a 5-week program. Anyone is welcome to pop in and out. You do not have to be in the coaching program. So if you want to perfect or get more information on any particular day, and those topics they'll be on the calendar by day.
Yes, and then RJ is gonna also attach the full schedule of each.
But
class.
please register so that we know who to come and that we can have materials for you. But if you don't, I'll still have materials for you. We start May 20th, we'll go through June 21st. If you know anyone who is thinking about real estate, this would be a good time for them to come and audit the classes. If you know someone who may be considering KW, pick something and come and share it with them. If you want further information, come. It'll be a lot of fun.
Hey, thank you for that. I love what you said. It's valued at like $5,000 of training. You look at the hours that the coaches put in and
100 hours of coaching time just to teach it. That's not the hours, which is over 100 to develop the curriculum and get it ready for the exams.
yeah, awesome. So we have Holly Cow this month, Jonathan and his leadership, appreciate that. And all the generous sponsors, our monthly sponsors. It's a good time. There's only 5 spots. So if you would like to participate, please let Jonathan know. He pulls the group together about the week before. Jonathan, would you like to speak to that? Hi, Sam.
Hey, I think you said it perfectly. It's all good, but this week is going to be exciting because we are going to be, I should say not this week, but the following Wednesday when we're doing it, we're going to be presenting a big donation check from Gary Keller. So that's just a little exciting thing about this coming one.
Thank you for that reminder. Those of you that don't know, because of Liza's leadership with Maui Food Bank and Jonathan's leadership with Holly Cow, Gary Keller gave $50,000 to each of those organizations personally. So and that's all just your guys' leadership. We wanted to direct the money somewhere, and we were so excited that happened. Okay. Yay, Liza. And Jonathan. So we had a fantastic West Maui huddle. The idea came from the West Maui agents. They used to get together as a Whalers group and go to different luxury listings. And so we met at Leah's luxury listing at the Pinnacle and had a really informative time. And so we're going to start doing that once a month on the first Wednesday. Next one is going to be at the Anapali Coffee Farms at Matt Talbot and Jane Ford's listing. So if you haven't been in there, this is a great opportunity to get in and check it out so you can speak to it. John, if you're still on, I would love for you to share, and anyone else who is on, we had some really detailed information about some associations that they were able to share because they live in it. And I would love to elevate all of your guys' understanding of what's happening with the different associations. So Don, if you're on, would you please share what you shared at the meeting?
Yes. So, one of the big challenges is getting lots cleaned. Because there's so many steps just to get the cleaning approved. So RAOAO has been really on top of it, and they've started cleaning up the burned buildings in Kahoma Village. They've cleaned 2 completely. And when I say cleaned, they're pulling up all the foundations. So there's no more cement there. All the plumbing, all the electrical, everything. It's just back to dirt. And, when they build a foundation, they dig down into the earth. So there's holes and everything. They've cleaned 2 buildings completely. They're on their 3rd right now, which is right across the parking lot from me. And what's crazy is I'm sitting here and it feels like earthquakes because they're hitting the foundation so hard. It's literally shaking my condo. But not all the complexes here are in progress. And of course, we don't know how long it'll take to get anything built once that starts. However, our particular complex has already contacted builders, the original builder, Stanford Carr, and trying to find a construction company that can start building. So there is a lot of progress happening. It's almost all behind the black tarp, so it's hard to see. And it's not consistent, you know? It really takes people or a group that's staying on top of it. It's not like the county or FEMA or the Army Corps of Engineers is proactively helping people. They're responding. So you will find people that are ahead of the game and some that are way, way, way behind. I can't remember what I talked about, so I hope that was it.
And no, that's Kahoma Village, right?
Kahoma Village specifically, yes.
Yeah, so just so you guys know, when you're speaking to clients, you have this information about the other associations. Sue, you had information on one too. Are you on? Could you speak to that?
I am. I talked about Lahaina Shores.
Yeah.
So they're at the point, and Lee shared that they have pumped the cellar there. Sorry, cellar's the wrong word. And they were giving owners opportunity to go in to check their units. They had to go on a specific time. What I found out was apparently any of the owners' keys that were kept in the office had been disappeared right after the fires. So people are having to go in and get their owner's locker rekeyed just to get access. But from the owners I spoke to, they said basically that they found that just their units were in, in great shape. There was nothing, it was almost like you couldn't even tell that there had been a fire. And that's it. I think at the moment they're still restricting access. The association did apply for an SBA loan just as a stopgap in case they need it. And they're progressing as much as they can to try to get the building up and running again.
Awesome. Thank you. We'll take time at the end if we have it and allow other people to share what's going on with your association. If you have any information that can help everyone. This meeting was worth driving for, truly. We had really high level conversations on what's happening on West Maui, and we try to make it unique by having it at a luxury listing that you guys may or may not have been in. So I got to see the one Matt's featuring next Wednesday, June 5th. It's definitely worth the drive from Central or upcountry. Let's go show some love to our West Maui agents and also really understand what's happening on the West Side. All right, we had it was a good time. And First Hawaii sponsored lunch, so free lunch. So we have Marion with MLS Mastery next.
Hi, everybody. I'm back by popular demand to show you just once more how easy it is to get at all sorts of information about a property. So I thought I'd start out by logging in live here, because I'm sure you've all noticed we have this new dashboard thing we're signing into, right? Which is actually kind of cool. Why did I make this such a long? See, it didn't work. So this is kind of cool, right? Here's our information right here. Do we owe any money? What committees are we on? What's going on? What event did we sign up for? Do we want to sign up for an event? It's really easy to use. And just by going to Paragon, you get this quick, oh yeah, let me just check that, So our info hub has gone away because this is now it. So it just takes us directly to our account. And easy for you to check. And right here is obviously Caravan sign up, easy to get. Here's our MLS dashboard, and here's the resources, right? All of those documents. If you want to download new list of RAM members to do your e-blasts to, here's where you would get that, right? You download the spreadsheet. Anyway, we're going to go to the dashboard, to Clarity. What? Oh, MLS resources. Yes, the resource center is where all the documents are. that are available through RAM. So I'm gonna go here, and we're gonna go to the Maui property tax record from the Clarity dashboard and search records. And I have picked a property. Okay. So here's a property, and I'm gonna go, I wanna learn everything about it. I'm gonna go straight to the map. Little icon right here to go to the map. From the, I'm in the county tax record, right? And once I'm here at the map, I get a parcel summary down here. As well as up here, I can go back to the report. I can do other things here, but I also have this wonderful list of things right here on the left-hand side. So if I want to see what is this in a flood hazard area? I click flood hazard area and I go, well, what does light brown mean? And I go up to the legend. See, I go from layer list over here to legend. And I have to go to show all because I don't see the color. And it says, well, this is an AH. Right? And you go, what is an AH? And so if you go into Google and simply Google Maui County flood zone designations, you will get a wonderful description of a one-pager of what these colors mean and what these zones are. It's a wonderful document to have available to give to your clients, pass it out with the flood zone report to people so they understand what it means. This is the ocean, so this is a flood area, right? What else can we see here? Tsunami evacuation zones. This is not something that's specifically required, but do you think your client would like to know if they live in a tsunami evacuation zone? What does that mean? The alarm goes off, get out. I live in a place where the alarm goes off. I don't usually get out, right? I live in a country. But if you're down by the shore, you hear that alarm, your client needs to know, leave. So again, they're in a tsunami evacuation zone. State land use districts. It's a question we get asked in the MLS data input form, right? What are the state land use interests? Okay, this is pink. What does the pink mean? Urban. Right? You just go to the legend, see what the pink means, and you know what it is.
Monica, can I actually trade you spots and take a shower?
Yeah, you could take a shower. That's okay.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry.
All right, along that line, I'm going to go down a little bit to zoning districts because this is the question we all have. Can we shower where we live? Yes. So this is county zoning, right? And this is an awesome development that we can now look up the zoning right here on the map. And again, we have to go to the legend. Let it update. And now we have to look for all, there's a lot of colors. I have one agent who calls me all the time because she's colorblind. And so she says, I can't tell what this color is, right? Because they get really subtle, right? Look at all these different shades of colors. So I look it up for her and we decide what it is together. So if you're colorblind, you might want to get some help. That's just a heads up. But right here, right here is A1 apartment zone. What is the bright green? The bright green, it's not a golf course. It's a peak, it's a park, right? Because it's that strip of state land in front of the houses in front of the condos in North Kihei. So, but how awesome that you can just look up the county zoning right here. Yeah. What else have we got here? Yeah.
Let them know if they have an Apple computer, they may have to switch their browser when they look at it, because it'll come up, but none of the colors will come up. So then you have to move it to either Chrome, usually Chrome.
An adult computer.
I'm an Apple user and I use Chrome. Safari causes me too much trouble in other things. So if you're on Apple and you want to do real estate and use our apps, it's better to use Chrome for Apple, right? Yeah, so. What else? Tsunami value, you did that. State land, we did that. Special management area, everybody know what the special management area is, right? Usually we're pretty. It's Mackay side of Piilani Highway, Mackay side of Honoa Piilani Highway, Mackay side of Hana Highway, right? It's kind of straight. You're looking at me like, no. So knowing what the special and looking it up, what the SMA areas are, right? But make sure your client knows, oops, you're in the SMA. So all these things are right here for you to look up when you just click on the map on a property.
And then you can just zoom out and see, because they say, oh, I don't want that.
Yeah.
How far away do I have to go?
Yeah, that's right. So you could go like this and go, okay, let's make it, find out where the boundaries are, right? There's the boundary.
Can we switch it to the zoning one? I can call it subject colors.
Woo! There you go. Okay, that's my.
Marion, I have a question.
Yeah.
It's Katie Zimmerman.
Hi.
Hi, where do you go so that instead of seeing like plots like this view, you get more of like a Google aerial view?
Oh, pictometry, aerial pictometry. Click that, unclick that. There you go. Aerial pictometry. And now you can zoom in on the property and get that nice aerial shot. Put it in your listing because it shows the boundary, right? Yeah.
Thank you.
That.
All right. Awesome. Well, I know all of you showed up. We have our fearless PB with some updates on short-term rental. So super excited.
I hate that picture. But it's the one I got. It's the one I got. Okay. Remember a few things before we get into the A1, A2. Lead paint addendum. Remember, there is a lease lead paint addendum and a sales lead-based paint addendum. Make sure you use the correct one. The TCPA. What does TCPA stand for? Telephone Consumer Protection Act. Text messages are also included in that TCPA. There was a broker that talked about it at the leadership thing at Mega Camp. And she said that one of their agents texted out an open house. And now guess what do they have? A lawsuit. Yeah. From that TCPA. So be cautious, you guys. Lots of issues coming about with that. Remember that our short-term state versus county, right? Our county is 180 days or less, right? Some of the other counties, it's 30 days or less. And why does that matter? Because now we're talking about A1 and A2 zone properties, right? That are. So the backstory is there was a bill that went through the Hawaii legislature and it got signed by the governor. All that said was that the counties have the discretion now to make their own rules. Okay. Everybody thinks it's passed. The community out there thinks it's all passed and it's all done, right? So now what does that mean? It means the county is working. There is already legislation out, proposed legislation It's going through the planning commission right now. So they'll have hearings. And then they'll have, then it'll go to the county council. Finally, it'll go to the mayor's office to sign, not sign, whatever, okay? So we're in the early stages of this process, probably take a year, I'm guessing, unless they really push this thing through for some weird reason. But lots of controversy with this, right? On both sides of it, right? You guys have seen the posts on social media, and there's a lot of education to be had, for sure, on all sides. Anyway, when you're selling, listing, buying an A1 or A2 property, which Marion just showed us how to look up, make sure you look that up. If you do have one of those properties, there's a clause manager in your zip forms clause managers. If you don't know how to do that, we'll show you. Maybe we could show them that in the next. Oh, we can show them right now. Look at that. Okay. Aaron's going to show you how to look up the clause manager in your zip forms. And what it says is the buyer is aware that this condo complex is in the A1 or A2 zoning, which may be affected by Maui County's future ordinance to discontinue the allowance of short-term rentals. Buyers should do their own due diligence on the future short-term rental use of this property. Buyer understands there is no guarantee of future rental income. Short-term rental is defined as a domicile rented out for less than 180 days. Make sure that is in your purchase contract, right? Global clauses, clause managers zip forms. Okay, make sure you guys are looking that up, whether you're on the seller side or the buyer side. That disclosure needs to be in there to protect you, right, and your client. I mean, we're. If it's an A1 or A2 zone property, yeah, yes, yeah. Because there is that Minatoya list, but the Minatoya list is not really an official list as far as the county is concerned, right? You ask them for a list, they go, oh, there's no list, right? It's something that us realtors kind of made up, and we went off that list to try to codify, which we did codify it, right? And now they said, no, now they're changing everything again, right? Okay, so take it away.
So put your cursor there, put your cursor into the clause section where you want, right in Q, go to add clause. Go to global clauses, the only one that has anything in it, right? Global clauses, and we are looking for, what'd you call it? A1, A2, property disclosure, right there. Click on it and hit insert. That's how you use the clause edit, clause manager, right? So find clauses in there. There's lots of clauses in there, by the way.
Yeah.
But this is the clause you want.
Lots of.
Should we reference the rental side of it in the contract, or does it still want to go? Do you want to reference to the section of the contract stating rentals?
I suppose we could, you know, but it's just a general disclosure.
And then, I read an article, the mayor said stuff is gonna happen on certain time frame, and you're saying he doesn't have the power to do that.
Correct, because it's still got to go through all the things, right? Still got to go through planning,
Okay.
which they got to schedule on a meeting,
Yeah.
right? And that's probably impossible at this point, because they still got to have these hearings. They got to have hearings at planning commission. They got to have hearings at the council, right? Have this discussion. Nothing has been approved as of yet. Yeah.
I have a question for Marion. Is Santa Claus in the clause manager?
Only during December. The month of
As a
December.
current listing, they can add that to your.
Yeah, and so the question is, if somebody has a current listing or a current escrow, should probably add this to it. Mitch.
Gotta repeat the question.
Have like a general, like it's give out to them. Like voters who are currently purchase.
Well,
There's nothing yet to give them. I mean, they could read the proposed language, I guess, of the legislation, and if they don't like it, they should show up at the county council or at the planning commission, right? Or at the- Yeah, you can send them everything. Yeah, send them everything because that helps if they try to come back later, right, and say, but we didn't know. I mean, we can't. It is latent defect, right? Something we couldn't have known. So because they just made it up, right? Moving on. If there,
Danny,
yes,
Danny, question. So I haven't read that thing yet, which of course I will, but it's talking about the A1 and the A2. It's not talking about hotel zone condos, correct?
correct.
And allegedly they're not planning to try and affect those either. Is that correct? Or we don't know yet?
No, they wouldn't because that's hotels. They're in hotel zone, and we are suspicious that the hotels are behind this. No, that's just a
We already think that they are. Oops, we didn't say that. Thank
that's a
you.
conspiracy theory. Okay.
Yeah.
The NAR settlement, right, is moving forward. They're looking at I think it's August 19th to start all this. Start it now, right? The two big things. One, it won't be able to be post your co-op commission in the MLS. Buyer's rep agreement, right? Start those now, right? Well, not the MLS, but the buyer's rep agreement, right? The rule is going to be that before you go touring, right, is the new word for showings, is touring homes, you need to have a buyer's rep sign. Everybody's going to have to do it starting now. Don, you got a question?
I don't know if I'd say it's a question, but basically, my understanding of the state law that passed is that it gives the county the ability to change the zones. So in theory, they could take some of those short-term rentals in hotel zones and change those zones to something else where they could in the future take away that STR right too. That doesn't mean that's what they're planning, but my understanding is it may give them that leeway. So I would use that STR language in every zone STR and not just apartment.
Yeah, not a bad idea, because as we know, the council's doing crazy stuff, right? So, Dean, you got a question?
Yeah, I was just going to make a statement, not unlike what Don said, is that I do know of a property here that is in a hotel zone that is being restricted from vacation renting.
Is that by the homeowners association?
No, it's by the county. It's that, yeah, long story, but it is a case now of a home that's in a hotel zoning that is being prohibited from vacation renting. Just an FYI, that's all. I think it is, the zoning part is a little tricky. I would just say that Don is right. We have to be careful about changes to any of it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And this is the time to be active, right? In your government. I don't know. It's time to be active in your government, right? When you guys see calls to action from the Realtors Association of Maui, which I would guess would come out, hit the button, fill your name in, and it's done. They make it super easy, right? But we inundate the council with letters saying this is why we don't like this proposed language, right? It's thoughtfully written. It's not like screw you guys. You guys are screwing up Maui, right? It has specific things in there. JC.
I dealt with this with the Minnesota with the council before years ago, the Hanson spot at Park Court. The problem is we need to get the people that own vacation rental that live on that to go to the council because they do not care. If you're out of state, they'll ask you where you're from. You say California, they go, never mind with further questions. I saw them do it over. So we get a group that's from here that owns here. Those are the ones that want to show up to the council and write those letters.
Definitely.
Can you repeat that?
What if you have clients that are locals that are renting out, those are the ones that we want to testify, right? Those are better testimony than somebody lives on the mainland because they don't vote. Teresa.
So I have two clients that have short-term rentals and they're definitely, being considered to change. And one of the things they said is, even if we wanted to do it, we can't afford it. Our maintenance fee was just raised to $2,000 a month. In order to meet our mortgage payment, which is just over $4,000 a month, we would have to rent our studio for $6,000 a month. So they're like, what can we do to educate the county that even if they did this, we couldn't afford to apply it? And if we can't do it, our neighbors are not gonna be able to most likely do it, which means our property is going to become defunct because of maintenance, you can't
Yeah.
upkeep it.
No, there's plenty of stories like that, right? Of examples like that, and that's where we have to educate the public and the council big time, so.
I was thinking of video, that if you went and interviewed your client that has a property here and outlined it, we could create a campaign of education. Do you
Sounds
want
like you should be on the Government Affairs Committee.
Ah.
Just found a job for you, okay. Marianne Fairness.
Back to the buyer's rep agreement on
Yes.
the back page, commission section. You know how
Yes,
we have 2.5% or per MLS?
Yes.
Is there any verbiage we're gonna put down?
yes,
Since you're
we will have
saying,
to,
since you're telling us to get ahead of it?
we
If,
will
in
have
case
to
there's a
change
conflict.
we will have to change that. Right now, we're not changing that part of it. We're just changing, we're using it, right? And it actually should be 3%, because if you get 3% in commission, you won't get the 3% because you only put 2.5% on. That's another change. So you should put the max and then go less. But so right now, to answer your question, that is fine. But we will have to put new verbiage in there at some point when we figure it out.
When we
Thank you.
Maybe to put on there the option that they will only see ones that offer the commission, or if they can see all properties. Say that again. Is there a way, are they gonna be changing it so that
The-
we sit down with the buyer?
The question was,
They can check off.
will they be changing the form to show? Can you show all, we will show you all properties or just commission paid properties, right? Now, they're gonna change a lot of these forms, right? Standard Forms is working like crazy right now to change the purchase contract and all that, and the MLS in each county is changing their rules and all that stuff. The answer is, I don't know, maybe we'll see what they do, but I don't think it's gonna be that far spread of people aren't paying commissions. If the agents are actually doing their job when they go get the listing, they're gonna talk about how valuable the buyer is, the buyer's agent, and we should pay him, right? Like we've always done. Because you know how you sold your house? Because that agent brought the buyer in, right? And did their work to earn their money. So that should be the conversation you have with your sellers too, Mitch.
Just for clarification, some of it does say that the seller can offer a buyer's compensation, that can be posted to that, that goes into the conversation.
No, it cannot. The question was, can you post the commission to the co-op broker in the MLS? Nowhere, not even in the special terms, but you could put it on your ad, right? So what you're gonna do in practice is when you call to show the place, you're gonna say, all right, what are you paying? Right? You better find out before you go show it. Are you paying a cooperative commission? Right, what's your co-op,
But
right?
it does say specifically that the seller can offer buyer's compensation in that, and that can be posted into the MLS. What
That's gonna change.
Well, that's-
Those rules are gonna change,
Oh.
yeah. Right, everything now is changing, yeah. Wendy, you have a question? Statement? Answer?
Aloha.
Hello.
I wanted to go back to the apartment zoning issue and just share what I've done over the weekend. I reached out to, for those of you that don't know me, aloha, my name is Wendy Anderson. I am a broker for Valley Isle Property Management Team. We are with Whalers Investment Group that is also under the same ownership umbrella as Keller Williams. So as you can imagine, as of Thursday, my phone started blowing up with all of the owners' concerns. And just Saturday, so Carol, sorry, my team's here. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of piggyback on that. I've sent out an email asking for them calls to action. If any of you can get on the Maui Vacation Rental website or email me personally, I'm happy to share the information I shared with them and the letters to write to our council and the mayor outlining they're not all just a bunch of millionaires that own these properties and use them once or twice a year. These are people that stay here, invest in our community, and bring our tax dollars to us and employ us all. My team alone is 27 people. So right now is the call to act because we know this will devastate the economy if this can get through this time for whatever reason. So I just wanted to do that as a shout out. I have Minatoya documented. I have what we should focus on as owners and just to try to be as proactive as possible before the June 25th hearing. If anybody needs me, I'm here. Wendy Anderson. Aloha.
Thank you, Wendy. Katie is asking, are any classes offered to understand understand and present the buyer's rep agreement to our buyers? Yes, there will be once they kind of finalize all that stuff. NAR is working on changing the code of ethics even, right? And all that stuff.
Word is in the command.
Value squared is part of it too.
Talks to it.
Those are recorded sessions through KW. Karen?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, value squared was amazing, by the way. It takes away the mystery and the terror. But what I was going to bring out is like you brought about the value of the buyer's agents. What are you going to do without them? The last property that I just closed, the seller's agent showed the people 17 properties and came to mine. I'm so grateful that guy came there. We've got to remember that if we do only listings, which I don't think any of us do, we got to remember how hard the work is to be a buyer's agent as well. And they deserve every penny they get.
Yes. Sure. Todd Hudson.
Hey, do we have the links that are available to send out to all of our past clients so they can show their support and send a letter? We probably should send that out through the KW, and we really need to push our agents to make sure that we're giving that to as many clients as possible to sign. I know there's a couple petitions going out right now. I heard about. They're getting signed, but there's a lot of misinformation. Holly Kai is a great example. They had an owners meeting this morning, and they told everybody, yeah, don't worry, we're not affected, but they're A2 zone, so they're absolutely affected. So I had to call 4 clients, or I just been texting 4 clients saying, no, you guys are definitely part of the chopping block. So I think there's a lot of misinformation, but if we can, maybe we can put an email together that we can start forwarding with some links. That'd be really good. I think that would help for agents who don't know exactly where to go.
Okay, we'll take that under advisement. No, we'll work on that. Thank you, Todd. Anyone else? Okay. Well, let's move on to our code of ethics. Is there a slide for that? Oh, never mind. We'll skip code of ethics today. What article 12 is? Rustin Tong with 1 G on this slide. Yes, it's Rustin Tong with 2 G's actually. Rustin is
there wasn't enough room there, sir, so you know they had to cut it short.
Rustin's from our Honolulu KW office. He's a partner there as well as an outstanding agent with his lovely wife. And he is here to talk to us about the choice you can choose on your closing docs. Escrow instruction form. Take it away, Rustin.
Thank you. We've been actually doing it here in Honolulu. It's Doc Prep Hawaii is the company. And what that does is it selects the attorney that actually prepares the deeds and documents for the respective transaction. There is a portion of those proceeds that goes back to the market center. And our market center has am I allowed to go into that?
Sure.
The amount? Yeah. Okay. So our market center typically it's anywhere between $1,500 to $3,000 a month is what the income has been for that respective service. It's like an ancillary that's available. if you did want to use it or have access to it, KW Honolulu has been using it now for, oh gosh, I want to say 10 years, 8 years. So we've been using it for a while, and we just now is making that available for the other, I guess the other branches or other offices as well. So it's a good opportunity.
Awesome. Excellent. Thank you for that. And the simple way to do that is you just X on the escrow instructions, right? It's either X that one or the other. The other's blank, so you got to come up with your own thing. So thank you. There it is right there. Doc Prep Hawaii right there. Thank you, Rustin, for coming and explaining that to us. You guys have any?
Thanks, Zach.
You can call Rustin on that. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
We have, yeah. Love this idea. JC and I were talking, he said, Janae has some great information on how, she can help with insurance and loans. So Janae, thank you for coming and we look forward to learning from you.
Well,
So I'll just put it out there. I don't love getting up in front of everyone, but I'm here because this is important. And so that's why I'm here. So anyways, first of all, thanks for inviting me and having me. Really what I just want to share with you guys is how deductibles are impacting or on the condos for their insurance, how that's actually impacting financing. So some of the things that have been brought up before is that we're seeing a rise in the HOA fees, right? Well, part of that rise in cost has to do with the insurance. So whether it's hurricane or just the overall insurance on the condo. And so what I have recently seen is that for these condo associations to mitigate their costs, what they're doing is they are actually increasing their insurance deductible, okay, to maybe try and keep the costs down. Now, I understand that point. However, what happens is when they do that, it's basically out of guidelines. So Fannie and Freddie, their max for the insurance deductible is 5%. So that is the max that where the insurance deductible should be, okay? When they start going over that percentage, what happens is that they're basically considered ineligible for financing. You will find that the local banks also follow suit with that. So Bank of Hawaii, First Hawaiian Bank, any of our regular conforming programs, you're not going to be able to do the loan. So some steps that we can take to help to kind of catch this early on. And actually, even before I go into that, guys, as far as the impact, I actually am in escrow right now with a client and experience this myself. So we're ready to get to closing. We received their master insurance policy. They had just renewed and they increased their insurance deductible to 8%. And the lender was like, we're not doing it. They wouldn't make an exception, even with strong reserves. And so what we had to do was pivot. So we were able to bring the loan in-house through an in-house correspondent, and we are getting it done. They do allow up to 10% on the deductible. And so we do have a solution. However, that solution might not work for every buyer. And so what we can do on both ends is there's some steps that we can take to help not only assist our buyers, but also assist sellers for listings that you guys might come across. And so we want to inquire early to determine, okay, what does their master insurance policy look like? So if we're able to get a copy of that, that would be the best way, right? Because you guys can contact your lender. I'm even happy to help look at this with you guys. Even if you're working with someone else, you can give me a call. I'll take a look at the master insurance policy to determine, okay, what are their deductibles and what other things might get in the way of financing so that we can hit that early. We can also look at, okay, when are they going to renew their policy, right? Because let's say you're in the middle of escrow and then they renew and you get that updated insurance, and then what? You're like trying to pivot last minute. And I know personally it's super stressful. It's stressful for the client. So it's like we want to find solutions early on. Another thing that you guys all can do is if, let's say you're just like trying to kind of get the information quickly, just preliminary, research, you can contact the HOA and see if they will give you that information, at least to have an understanding of that information by phone, right? So, okay, one question that you can ask is, what is your insurance deductible for the master policy? The other question is, does the policy provide 100% replacement coverage? What's happening right now, we're seeing it on Oahu. There's tons of properties that have become ineligible for this, like just regular financing due to issues with the deductible and the sublimits that are set, okay? So super important piece of information I wanted to share with you guys.
Do they know what, will they know if they're in that 5% range or not?
Yeah, it's on the master. Yeah. And so this is another thing too. I know, you know, for example, like Don, he was talking earlier and he's on his HOA board. So for any of you guys that sit on an HOA or you have connections with these different properties, like I think it's important for us to share with them like how these changes are going to also impact financing. If you have less buyers that are able to finance within the property, that's, I feel like a big issue, right? It's cutting out the buyers that can finance. And so I, you know, went into some simple steps to help in regarding safeguarding that issue. Questions that we can ask the HOA, I think educating if you sit on a board and talking with your team about that. So
What was the unit? The PA bank
oh,
stuff?
okay. So yeah, currently I'm actually working with Steve Landine. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yay! And literally, you guys, it's crazy because like we were supposed to close we are scheduled to close on the 6th, and last minute we got the insurance and the bank was like, nope, we can't do it. I mean, they would not make an exception. They looked at all the financials, everything, and the reason is because this is an island-wide or statewide problem, right? And so we had to pivot, and I did find, like I said, an in-house investor that will do it. But again, we don't want to like get to that point, right? Like that's super stressful, and you know, I mean, yeah, we saved the day, but like we don't want to get to that point. So do you guys have any questions or?
Would have closed today too.
I'm sorry.
I said it would have closed today too.
Oh yeah, today's the 6th.
Yeah, but you got us covered. Thanks for everything, Janae, on doing that. You're coming from the buyer side, and you were proactive, and we got the docs kind of late from the HOA and all that. So thanks for figuring it all out for us.
Yeah, for sure.
Does that affect?
Oh, his question. Yeah, sorry guys. So does that impact refinancing? Yeah, for sure. It's gonna, because they look at all of those docs.
Thank you today.
Yeah.
Very timely. I know Katie was actually talking about that with one of the West Maui units. So thank you so much. All right. Board of Directors, we're going to meet right after this as soon as the meeting's over at meetwithsasha.com. So apologies for the delay. I can't see my next slide.
Open house support.
Oh, okay. If you're looking for open house support, reach out.
Can I speak to that?
Oh, please.
30 seconds.
Okay, I got 30 seconds. So basically what is happening is we have several listing agents that would like agents to come in and support them for open house. And a lot of these schedules are coming last minute too. So what we're suggesting that you do is do that QR code, and you can put your open house and the specifics of it on a list. We will not be matching you with agents. We're just saying, here's the list, and we'll send out an email blast to let agents know to reach out to you to coordinate, and you get to determine whether or not they're a fit for your open house or not. But if you'd like to have agents reaching out to you for open house support, you need to list your listing here. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. And Steve, for that link, ABR class is still free. It's like $500. So I go get it and finish that up. Let's see. Oh, here's how to access the do not call registry. So go ahead and scan that if you like. And I just have one thing to close. We try to make these meetings valuable, and finish the book. I know I've talked about it, Know What You're For. And in it, they just talk about Howard Schultz was brought in when Home Depot and Lowe's, Home Depot was really struggling, had a horrible culture. and there were 800 stores across the nation. And what Howard Schultz did when he came in, he went around and visited all these stores, see what's going on, like why is the culture so bad? And then he was able to turn it around and become profitable. So what he did, and I'm starting a new personal professional protocol myself for this, he would write 10 handwritten cards every day to all the people that he visited. And he attributes the reversal of the decline and the increase of the culture to the cards. I thought that was awesome. And speaking to that, I know some of you heard this story before. Everybody knows Dean likes to garden, right? And we see pictures of his growing pineapple. And so I had worked on this pineapple for like a couple of years, they take. And I thought it would be cool to give it to Dean because we were doing this luxury listing. So I brought it and he, he's like, oh, thanks, man. And then a week later, our top agent, I got a handwritten note from him saying, man, thanks for the pineapple. That was really cool. And I thought, if our top agent can do that, why can't I? Right? So my number's 5. We're going to start small. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you. Monday's again, favorite day. Thank you guys for coming in person. Anything else before we close? Nope. Awesome.
Kick ass.
Yeah, go get them. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.